Before the video starts, note that 2 storylines will have fresh developments. Next, the first story. I destroyed them after discovering my wife cheating with 2 men. Hello everybody, I'm 33M. Before I begin, what would you do if you found your trusted wife having sex with 2 men in your bed? My 29-year-old wife Tracy and I met at the cinema. I saw a new movie with my friends, and she was with her girl group. It was our first day. Our relationship began shortly. We married after a year together. An innocent relationship became my worst love story. Being married to Tracy was first beneficial. We were pleased, and as her spouse, I encouraged her dreams and pushed her to succeed. The first 2 years of our marriage were good. Tracy was nice, helpful, and smart. I'd say she was everything I wanted in a woman: a great cook, friendly, elegant, and honest. My favorite thing about her was her honesty. I was a graphic designer for a banner and billboard company, while Tracy worked in a fast food restaurant. Tracy spent much of our decent salary on her interest, therefore I spent most of it at home. Tracy told me she wanted to be an actor as a child before we married. Her parents didn't encourage her desires, thus she never pursued them. Acting was not as noble as she thought, therefore her parents recommended her to study something different. Tracy asked whether I was cool with her longtime dream of becoming an actor. I responded yes. As someone who didn't pursue my dream career, I understood being enthusiastic but not doing it. I helped Tracy join theatrical clubs, volunteer, and other performing opportunities to pursue her passions. We planned to send her to a theater school when we got enough money. Tracy's natural acting talent was another reason I urged her to become an actor. She was an annoying drama queen and an outstanding performer who had taken many courses and watched 1,000 YouTube videos before I met her. All of these actions showed her earnestness, and I didn't want to end her dreams. We delayed having children to support Tracy and her academy. We wanted kids once she graduated from the academy. I anticipated good roles in plays, dramas, and films for her. I also encouraged her to volunteer for dramas, plays, and other roles to show her talent and get big roles. I did everything to help her succeed. In our first year of marriage, Tracy asked if I would let her pursue her acting career. We were still passionate. Nothing major happened between us. She was sweet like a peach, respecting and caring for me. Tracy applied for many online volunteer gigs in the first year but failed. She stopped applying because she wasn't getting responses. She focused on her new career, but I encouraged her to keep going. Luckily, one of her applications was accepted months after our first anniversary. The play needs fresh performers and actresses. Tracy was thrilled when she got the mail, and I was too. Since the screening was in our town, she had plenty of time to prepare. Tracy passed her examination and was chosen on D-Day. She was thrilled to announce it. Another good news was that they would pay them and hold play rehearsals on Saturdays and Sundays. I had no clue Tracy would change so much throughout rehearsals. Our relationship remained unchanged during the first couple rehearsal weeks. Strong communication allowed us to complete all previous tasks. We just spent less time on weekends. She had to wake up, clean, cook, leave for rehearsals, and return in the evening, which filled up her weekends. I didn't want to ruin her first formal opportunity, so I kept quiet despite my discomfort with the new development. Additionally, her weekend pay topped her weekly pay. Over several weeks, Tracy and I grew distant. Gaming, hanging out with friends, and hosting them at my house kept me occupied. I trusted and listened to my high school and college friends. After learning about Tracy's enthusiasm for acting and her time-consuming job, one of my friends, Eric, encouraged me to watch her closely because there were reports of women sleeping with directors to get good roles. I disregarded his advice and convinced them that Tracy was talented and did not sleep with anyone to get the part. Yes, dumb me. After I responded, they stopped discussing her. They advised me to watch her since fresh actors and actresses like Tracy are prone to cheating. I didn't believe them since Tracy would never hurt me or her wonderful marriage. Despite not taking their words seriously, they stuck with me, and I started acting weirdly around Tracy and asking strange questions. Tracy noticed how different I had become and complained about my inquiries and treatment, so I apologized and told her what my friend said. After I told Tracy everything, she laughed and said she couldn't cheat on me because she loved me so much and thought you were the best spouse in the world, and only a foolish and ungrateful woman would cheat. When she said that, I felt calm since Tracy would never cheat on me, I wish. I had no idea she was acting and had started cheating on me before we talked. Tracy changed so much in the following weeks that I can't convey it. Our conversation deteriorated, and her excitement at home diminished. Tracy was a parrot before turning. She'd report their rehearsals to me at home. Despite never attending rehearsals, I knew everyone's names, appearance, and personalities, because Tracy told me everything about them. We were close, and I looked forward to her weekend updates, but then it stopped. In addition to retreating, Tracy grew defensive. She took offense to almost anything I said, even old jokes she used to laugh at. My jokes and frequent references to her made her think I was assaulting her. She changed clothes. She donned provocative clothing during practice days. Multiple times, I complained about her clothes, but she ignored me. She called them the current styles, and I was out of touch. I thought she was trying to keep up with the better-dressed actors. She was competitive in fashion, but I didn't expect her to cheat. I was suspicious when she changed her hair weekly and called the man she claimed to be acting with. She yelled at me and left when I told her something really angered me. Her first time doing that made me understand I needed to act. I heard from my friends later that night that Tracy was cheating on me. Despite all the indications and changes, I couldn't believe Tracy was cheating on me because I had sacrificed so much for her to succeed. I countered that Tracy may be upset and ranting on me. They said I was blinded by love and needed a private investigator to find out if Tracy was cheating. Tracy's attitude change made me accept someone following her around. I hired a private investigator online the following week to track Tracy for a week. On the third day of rehearsals, Tracy didn't return home since the pie followed her. After returning home, she said she went to a bar to celebrate a fellow actor's birthday. Instead of traveling home from a great distance, she stayed with them at a nearby motel for safety. Amusingly, she hadn't told me about the birthday party, so I kept calling till 3 a.m. when she answered. She said the loud music prevented her from hearing it ring. She lied about the all-night birthday party, but I didn't listen. Though I thought she was lying, I was sure I would find out because the pie followed her. The pie didn't respond for 7 days, and by then I'd left town to see my parents. The pie informed me he had something to show me on my way home, so I met him at his house instead. Tracy didn't know I was coming home. After talking on Friday, I claimed I'd be home on Monday morning to spend more time with my parents, but I returned on Saturday. My pie revealed me things that astonished me. Tracy and a blonde man were in his photos and vids, whom she had an affair with. Photos showed them kissing in Tracy and AP's cars, shopping, eating out, and a video from the night Tracy told me she went to a co-star's birthday party at a club and didn't hear the phone call were there. The video showed she was with him all night. After dancing, they left at 10 p.m. She drove to his house and stayed the night. It meant she saw my calls but deliberately ignored them. Tracy cheated on me, shocking me. My future seemed bright with her, but she ruined it. After showing me all those photos and videos, the pie told me he had followed Tracy that evening, and that she was with her affair partner at my house before calling me. I was furious and wanted to break things. My pie drove me home because I was angry. I immediately recognized a blue Toyota Venza in my driveway when we arrived. I saw the same car in images and vids. I knew Tracy and her affair partner were there. I don't remember if I allowed my pie to follow. I was in the house next thing I knew, and Tracy and 2 men in the act, complete with their positions, met me at our bedroom door. The tall blonde man was on Tracy while the other man sucked her. I was furious and didn't know which man to punch first. Tracy had 2 hands shackled to the bed in sluttish netty lingerie. When she saw me, she struggled to stand. I attacked the blonde man while the other man grabbed his clothes and scurried like a rat. Thank goodness my pie arrived, preventing me from murdering. Tracy begged me while tied to the bed. She said I was wrong and she was rehearsing her play role with the men. Her stupid apologies made me want to choke her in her defenseless state. However, I left the room and told her to leave my house when I returned. I left the house with my PL. He shared his footage with me after taping everything. I took the footage from him despite not knowing what to do with it. I stayed at a friend's house that night. I was ashamed he was right about Tracy's new acting career. Tracy's threesome in our room and bed was worse. I found Tracy at home the next morning. She missed rehearsals since she knew she had erred. I kicked her out and trashed her possessions on the grass when I met her at home in wrath. She pleaded with me to let her explain what occurred and that I was making a mistake. She begged for entry for an hour outside, calling my name. After apologizing, she became hostile, called me names, and left. I finally felt comfortable expressing this last week since I haven't felt like myself since Tracy spent time with those two guys. How this happened beneath my nose is beyond me. Tracy wasn't spoiled by me. We split the money, she did most of the cleaning, and I controlled my emotions around her. I've witnessed stories where most men miss the warning indicators. I should have started my research when we stopped talking and she changed her clothes. Should marriage be like this? Since they're always tired when they get home from work, suspect your spouse if they wear new clothes or stop talking to you. Do not think so. The worst part is that she keeps phoning my phone since I kicked her out. I've been plotting the perfect revenge and want to show her director my footage. Update 1. Hello everybody, I appreciate your feedback. Glad everyone doesn't think it's too much. Someone said I researched the second person in the video, which I did. Guess what, guys? I discovered he's bisexual and dating Tracy's director. I can only image Tracy's homosexual director's anger and betrayal when he learns Tracy seduced his boyfriend. Tracy visited my apartment 3 days ago. She looked unhappy and had swollen, crying eyelashes. Unfortunately, my buddies were home when she begged me. However, they ignored her. Tracy was annoyed by their body language and my roles. She yelled at me for leaving her to get out with my buddies. This is it, Mike. Will you let your friends mistreat your wife over a minor dispute? I talked and did nothing while Tracy begged on the porch. When she made that horrible statement, I wanted to give her the hearing of her life, but my friends stopped me. I expected to be arrested for violence and wished to be guilty. A scene ensued before she left my house that day. She recounted our promises, including my promise to age with her. Despite my rage, I couldn't act. After a long time without an answer, she asked about the theatrical art academy I promised to finance. I wanted to leave and tell her to ask her affair partners for aid. I didn't react because I wanted her to stop talking and leave. Finally, she fled in shame. Already called a divorce attorney. Upon completion, he will submit the documents for her signing. Regarding vengeance, I'll follow your instructions. I know showing the tape to her director won't kill her career, but it will undo months of hard work. Sending the footage to her director excites me, especially because Tracy cheated on me with her director's boyfriend. Thanks everyone. I'll update soon. Update 2. Tracy's position is messier than I expected, so I'm glad to update everyone. It took 2 weeks to find her director online after my last post. Despite being a new director, he is making an impression. Tracy's director came when we arranged to meet. After hearing I had something to show him about his partner and a performer, he was excited to meet me. That day, I exchanged niceties and showed him a video of his partner, the blonde guy, and Tracy instead of talking. He sobbed with disappointment and heartbreak. Not kidding. He told me he thought his partner was with a cast member, but he hadn't caught them. He also said his lover cheated on him, but the director forgave him since he was drunk. I was more worried about what he may do to Tracy and her affair partner than what his lover had done. He said he hadn't decided what to do with them. I said it was weak of him to let them off the hook after Tracy hurt him. I'm not sure if Tracy's director stopped his connection with his lover after firing Tracy and her blonde affair partner. Tracy's firing was a relief because it meant her hard work was gone. I wanted her to mourn pouring her heart into something that was destroyed by someone else. My lawyer gave Tracy the divorce papers before she was fired. She called me the day she received the papers to ask me not to ruin everything we had fought so hard for. The day she considered cheating, I informed her she ruined it. I told her I showed the clip that damaged her months of hard work with her director. I expected her to flip when she heard that, and she did. She said she knew I was jealous that she could pursue her passion, but I couldn't. I laughed and hung up because I understood her goal. I'm divorced after she signed the divorce papers 2 weeks ago. Though it hurts, I'm glad she's gone. Many thanks for your feedback and support. On to the next tale. Story 2. I'm 36, and my 34-year-old wife is cheating on me. I don't know what to do. First, some background. We have 3 children, have been together nearly 17 years, and have been renovating an old house for 2 years. Our budget is poor, with little savings and high debt. She was my first woman and had only had a couple one-night adventures before me, so we were both inexperienced. She is my sunshine, and we have struggled together yet. Always supported each other. I believed we were among the few who could always keep on track. Apparently I was wrong. We lost ourselves trying to fix the house, working full-time, making finances meet, and making sure the kids were okay. Bad finances and health didn't help. My wife had tried to lose weight for years without success, and her self-esteem was low. We suffered silently from depression instead of talking about it. I played video games to evade our problems as she stared at her phone. It became worse during spring and summer. She partied with her friends while I stayed home with the kids. I thought letting her vent would make her happier at home, but it didn't. My stomach felt bad, but I tried to ignore it. Rumors circulated that she kissed a man at a neighboring dance. When I asked her, she said the guy tried to kiss her but she pushed him away. I wasn't convinced, but I didn't want to press her too hard to show her I trusted her. Later in the summer, she grew more careful and secretive with her phone. After guessing her Facebook password one night on August 22nd, I checked for information on the dance earlier that summer. Much worse was found. I witnessed her kissing a drunk man till her buddy pushed her out, but what occurred next was worse. I Skyped and utilized her IM. I learned she had been chatting with A and B, two foreigners, online for months. In early June, she started conversing to a mysterious guy named on Skype after he wrote her flattering remarks on Instagram. After less than 2 weeks of communicating, she started exchanging naked photographs, despite her initial opposition. She kissed him later that month. She talked to person until mid-August, when he disclosed he was a scammer with a stolen account sending her photos. However, she was misled into displaying him her intimate parts. She seemed to love him. She used Instagram to interact with Guy B by then. Naked photos and sexual talk followed quickly, both times they dreamed of. Traveling our country and meeting my wife in a hotel. She never criticized me, she just talked about me as if I were there. If asked, she said I treated her nicely, but also said she enjoyed chatting to them, and felt great. The worst is yet to come. In conversation with her female friend, I learned more unsettling details. They went to a 2-day town festival in a neighboring town in early July, stayed in a leased room I agreed to and thought would be good, and I knew my wife's panic attack-prone buddy had to remain at the local hospital. I didn't realize in their talk that she named a 41-year-old man from our town, Guy C., a married man with children who was unhappy in his relationship and whom she met that night. My wife told her buddy that she prevented him from going all the way after he came over to chat. Although she didn't say her name, I chose a suspect, because our town is small and found in my internet phone records that she had sent a message to a guy who suited the description. Fearing the worst, I wore a mask and waited until Saturday, August 24th, to inform my wife what I found out because I was afraid what may happen with the kids. I asked my mother to watch the kids. After she came home from class, I gently invited her to sit with me and told her what I knew. My wife is taking classes to get a degree for her job. There was no fighting, yelling, or slander. Two wretched people, one angry and hurt, talked all night. She said nothing had transpired between her and C, and that she did what she did online to boost her self-esteem since she thought I abandoned her. She didn't blame me or chastise me for looking around. Her concern that I didn't like her, because she wasn't losing weight, led her to get addicted to those guys' compliments. She said she didn't mean to offend me, she was selfish and tried to please them so they would praise her, including sending naked photographs. I learned that she had been cheating on me without realizing it, although knowing she was wrong, willing to believe her. Really did. I was hesitant. We sought counseling to improve our marriage. Weeks passed with improvements. Her kindness and sympathy toward me have increased. We've been having great sex and spending more time together. I still suspected she was hiding significant information, and after our second marriage counselor meeting last week, she confessed. She confirmed my worst fears, which I prayed would not happen. She slept with C that July night. Despite feeling terrible and shamed, she kept in touch with him on social media. She met him twice more, but only for kisses. She tried to contact him again a few days after my August confrontation. My instant instinct was to freeze. I didn't swear or yell. I didn't hurt her. I was relieved that she reinforced my beliefs, but I was humiliated and heartbroken in ways I had never felt before. I didn't want to rush into anything, so I haven't thrown the ring in her face or contacted the other guy in case I tell his wife or get arrested for assault. He didn't break my marriage contract. Was my wife. No longer sure what to trust. I thought the woman I knew would never do that. She's been trying to convince me she was stupid and selfish and that she regrets upsetting me. She says she will do whatever to win my trust and prove her value again. I don't think I'll trust her again or view her the same. I adore being around her and seeing her smile. Still, it hurts my heart. The kids and our financial situation make me want this to work. We can't afford a divorce, but I'm scared I'll lose myself and never become self-confident. How can I forgive her after cheating on me with 3 men? She kissed a random guy once, making 4. She had been emotionally and physically cheating on them in the past. A 2-month emotional and sexual relationship with 3 males, not just one drunken night. Whether 2 connections were online doesn't matter. She wanted to meet them. They knew the implications of their acts. Has anyone experienced something similar and can provide advice? It's easy to suggest, just divorce her husband and move on, but it's not. I still like her, and I'm worried for our kids and family. I worry that if I talk to her, her relatives and friends will find out, and she may injure herself or be mentally sick and harm our children. We have an unfinished house, no savings, and must fix it before selling. After your kind words and talking to my best pals, I gained some confidence. I eventually recognized what I had thought deep down I would never get over what my wife had done, so I told her I wanted to divorce last Thursday. I think she knew what was coming because she didn't look surprised. It wasn't like she tried to convince me. Despite what I want her to say, nothing I say will change things. She was crying and called in sick to work. We've told our closest friends and family about the divorce, but she won't tell her parents what she did. My mother knows everything, but I decided not to inform the in-laws yet. Perhaps I was afraid of a fight with my soon-to-be ex-wife, so I gave her time to warn them. We told them about the divorce last Sunday, but we had to leave 2 of our children with them for 3 days due to a school holiday, so it wasn't the right time to divulge their daughter's affairs. Instead, we told them there were irreconcilable differences. I felt bad saying it since they were dissatisfied. They're my family for over 17 years, and I care about them. They have always supported us financially and emotionally and enjoy spending time with our kids. I regret lying to them, but I'm afraid my soon-to-be ex-wife will become nasty and make the divorce harder if I do. My patience is limited. If my wife doesn't confess soon, I'll tell them. I want the divorce's genuine causes to remain private. My children may be bullied if the truth gets out because we live in a small town. While the public explanation is that we split because we grew apart, desired different things, etc., I prefer keep the reality between us and our closest friends and family. The sad person who got his wife porked by another guy is likewise not who I want to be known as. A few major loose ends remain. Selling our home and finding apartments is necessary. My kids will be with me 1 week and their mother the other. I think their legal address should be with me so I don't have to pay for her child, which is unfair given what she did. It's unclear how this will finish, but in my nation, the mother generally wins because everyone feels terrible for them. I'll fight for my kids.